In 30 BC, the last pharaoh of Egypt died by her own hand and took the location of her tomb with her into legend. For 2,000 years, no one has found it. Not the Romans who conquered her empire, not Napoleon's scholars, not modern archaeology with satellites, ground-penetrating radar, and unlimited funding. One woman has spent the last 20 years of her life searching a single site, convinced she's close. She's still digging. Today, we're going to look at why Cleopatra's tomb might be the most stubborn mystery in Egyptology. Strip away the Hollywood version. Cleopatra VII wasn't Egyptian by blood. She descended from Ptolemy I, a Macedonian Greek general who took Egypt after Alexander the Great's empire split apart. She was fluent in 9 languages, including Egyptian, a courtesy none of her predecessors bothered with. She was a shrewd political operator who allied with Julius Caesar, then Mark Antony, to keep Egypt independent while Rome swallowed everything around it. It didn't work. In 30 BC, after their combined forces were crushed by Octavian, soon-to-be Emperor Augustus, Antony and Cleopatra died by suicide rather than be paraded through Rome in chains. And then, according to ancient sources, she was buried together with Antony in a tomb she had built herself near a temple. That tomb has never been found. Our only real leads come from the Roman historian Plutarch, writing over a century after her death. He describes Cleopatra retreating to a mausoleum she'd already commissioned, a lavish structure near the Temple of Isis, stocked with gold, ivory, and treasure, possibly rigged to burn everything rather than let Octavian claim it as spoils. Plutarch says Antony was carried there after his own suicide attempt and died in her arms inside the tomb itself. That's specific. A named temple, a structure Cleopatra had already built. It should be findable. Except the ancient city Plutarch is describing, it's largely gone. Ancient Alexandria doesn't look like modern Alexandria. A catastrophic earthquake and tsunami in 365 AD, combined with gradual land subsidence, dropped huge sections of the royal quarter, palaces, harbors, temples, into the Mediterranean. Since the 1990s, underwater archaeologist Frank Gaudio has mapped submerged columns, sphinxes, and pavement blocks just off the coast, identifying the ancient royal harbor where the Ptolemaic dynasty built its palaces and temples. It's entirely plausible that Cleopatra's mausoleum, if it stood where ancient sources place it, is now underwater and buried in silt. If that's true, we may never find it. Not because it doesn't exist, but because it's sitting under an active harbor in a city of 5 million people. But not everyone accepts that theory. One archaeologist has spent 2 decades betting the tomb is somewhere else entirely. In 2005, a Dominican lawyer and self-taught archaeologist named Kathleen Martinez made a bet almost no one in mainstream Egyptology took seriously, that Cleopatra wasn't buried in Alexandria at all, but 30 miles west, at a temple called Taposiris Magna, the great tomb of Osiris. Her logic: Cleopatra publicly associated herself with the goddess Isis. Taposiris Magna was a major Isis temple complex. If priests wanted to protect her body from Roman desecration after her death, moving it somewhere quieter than the capital made sense. Martinez got permission to dig. Over the next 2 decades, she found things that kept the theory alive. Coins bearing Cleopatra's face, a bust some believe depicts her, and, in 2022, a tunnel over 4,000 feet long carved through solid rock running from the temple toward the sea. Then, in 2025, working with Bob Ballard, the man who found the Titanic, She traced that tunnel to something new. A sunken ancient port just offshore, with towering stone structures, polished floors, and ship anchors, all dated to Cleopatra's era. It suggested the temple once had direct access to the Mediterranean, a way to move a body out to sea, away from Roman hands if that's what the priests intended. She still hasn't found a sarcophagus. She still hasn't found an inscription with Cleopatra's name on it. Critics have pointed out that association with ISIS doesn't prove burial location, and that the site's significance long predates Cleopatra. Martinez says she believes finding the tomb is only a matter of time. She's been saying that for 20 years. Mainstream Egyptology has never fully embraced the Taposiris Magna theory. The core objection is simple. No burial has actually been found there. No body, no coffin, no name carved in stone. Everything recovered is circumstantial. Coins, a possible likeness, religious symbolism. Cambridge historian Paul Cartledge has said plainly that he believes Cleopatra was buried in the royal cemetery in Alexandria, not at Taposiris Magna, arguing Augustus would have wanted her buried there as the legitimate successor to her throne. Glasgow historian Jane Draycott has pushed back on the ISIS connection specifically, pointing out that temples to ISIS were common across Egypt, so proximity to one doesn't prove burial location. The uncomfortable truth is that both camps are arguing from absence. No one has definitive evidence for either location, only the absence of evidence everywhere else. Cleopatra remains one of the only major ancient rulers whose final resting place is completely unknown. Not looted, not destroyed by a known event, simply unlocated. That absence has fueled 2 decades of serious excavation on a theory that still isn't proven, and left an entire stretch of ancient Alexandria's coastline waiting underwater, still holding whatever collapsed into it in 365 AD. Somewhere between a submerged harbor and a desert temple 30 miles away. The last pharaoh of Egypt is still waiting to be found. Or she isn't there at all. Burned, as Plutarch feared, with everything she tried to take with her. 2,000 years of searching, 2 competing sites, 0 confirmed remains. If you had to bet, underwater in Alexandria or the tunnels of Taposiris Magna, which one would you choose? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more unsolved history, and I'll see you in the next one.